Greetings, welcome, and thank you for clicking. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, supporting your journey with healing experiences, coaching, and encouragement for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. In this video, I am talking about walking and using walking to deepen your spirituality, using walking as a spiritual practice. Walking has a long history of being used in religion, in spiritual practice. We think of shamanic journeying, shamanic uses of walking. We think of labyrinth walking. We think of pilgrimages. You know, walking is embedded in our bones, and we can use walking to deepen our spirituality. So in this video, I am offering a few tips for you on using walking as a spiritual practice. So, tip number 1, go alone. Going alone is really important to your walking experience. You know, walking with others can be very fulfilling, very stimulating, even very relaxing. But when you are using walking as a spiritual practice, especially when you are starting out, I highly recommend going alone. This will allow you to minimize distractions, to focus on your surroundings, to focus on the sensory experience, and to focus inward as well. Going alone allows you to minimize distractions and allows for a more fuller experience, a more self-reflective and introspective experience for your walk. So, tip number 1, I recommend going alone. You know, you might, if you go with someone else, this person might want to talk. They might go at a different pace from what you want to go. They might even want to go in a different direction or stop earlier or later than you would like. And so when you go alone, you have the ability to really self-direct and create this as an individualistic experience. So I recommend at first, go it alone. My second recommendation is to walk with awareness. The important aspect to walking for spirituality, and number 2 here is really the most important, is to walk with awareness, to be paying attention to your surroundings, to be paying attention to yourself, pay attention to the experiences, the sensory experiences, the feel of different objects, this amazing moss on this tree, for instance, the feel of your feet on the earth, the smells, the sounds. Be paying attention, bring your full awareness to the experience. So walk with awareness. It's not so important where you walk as it is how you walk. And so bringing your full attention to the present moment is going to be really important for using walking as a spiritual experience and deepening your spirituality. So, pay attention, breathe, use your breath, feel the motion in your legs, feel the earth on your feet, feel the breezes in your face, on your skin. Drink it all in. Focus on the moment. Focus with awareness. Now, if your mind wanders to your problems, your challenges, this is okay. As a matter of fact, this is one of the great benefits of walking. Walking will give you new perspectives and will allow you to tackle some of your problems and find new solutions. When we walk, we are moving back and forth. This back and forth motion of walking, also known as bilateral movement, will help to create some new perspectives and some new ideas in your brain. And so walking is actually very beneficial for problem solving and for creativity. So if your mind wanders off to a struggle, a challenge that you're having, that's okay. You may come up with new solutions to your problems. So you can even use walking as a problem-solving technique. I know that I have done this myself, and it has worked wonders. Walking for creativity is another wonderful way to use walking. So you can use walking in these ways to great effect. So, walk with awareness. It's not so important where you go as it is how you go. However, tip number 3 is that if you can, walk in nature. So it's not so important where we go as it is how we go, but if you walk in nature, this is going to allow you for a greater experience, a greater spiritual experience to your walk. Nature calms us. Nature focuses us. Nature is a great spiritual enhancer. When we are in nature, we can really tap into the earth and tap into ourselves. And so if you can walk in nature, it will allow for a greater depth to your walk. So when you can, walk in nature. We know from research, from studies, that nature does wonderful things for us mentally, physically, and emotionally. Walking does wonderful things for us mentally, physically, and emotionally. We know this from studies and research. And so when we can combine walking and nature, wow, we really amp up the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual benefits. So when you can, walk in nature. Now, if you can't walk in nature, if you don't have access to nature, a park, a garden, that's okay. You can go on walks through your neighborhood. I have had many fulfilling and soul-enriching walks through the neighborhood. So just because you can't go in nature doesn't mean that you can't use walking for your spiritual benefit. So definitely get out there, no matter where you are. How you walk is not so important as where you walk. The destination itself also does not matter. It does not matter where you go. It matters that you go. So get out and start walking, whether in nature, whether through your city streets. It doesn't matter where you go. It matters how you go. So when you can, walk in nature for a deeper experience, a deeper soul-enriching experience of your walk. Another tip for you for bringing walking into your spirituality and creating it as a spiritual practice is to leave the electronics behind. Don't allow electronics to distract you. Phones are a distraction. Electronics, games, all distractions. The music, leave it behind. Because when you leave these things behind, you allow yourself to tap into your surroundings and to tap into your own feelings and emotions and thoughts. So, leave the electronics behind. If you need to take your phone with you, silence it so that you're not hearing the dings of text messages. Leave those aside. Let those go. Whatever messages you receive, you can get to them later. You know, we in our culture are so distracted. We are constantly on our phones. We are constantly listening to buzzers and sounds. Leave those all behind when you walk. The music, let it go. And focus instead on your thoughts, your feelings, the surroundings, your internal dialogue, the ways in which the earth is speaking to you. So leave those distractions behind. Let your mind be focused and aware. You know, we really cannot be fully present when our attention is split and we are distracted by electronics. Your phone is a distraction. Even when you don't think it is, it is. The music from your iPod that you're listening to while you're walking, you might not realize it, but it is a distraction. to use walking as a spiritual experience, leave those things behind and focus in on the present moment of your walk, your inner dialogue, and your surroundings. My final recommendation for using walking as a spiritual experience and a way to deepen your spirituality is to go for at least 20 minutes. Now, I don't mean to be so prescribed as to say, watch the clock. Well, actually, if you have a clock with you, it rather defeats the purpose of using walking as a spiritual experience. But if you are saying, Christian said, 20 minutes, no. I recommend 20 minutes as a good amount of time because it's a good chunk of time for you to get involved in an activity, to be absorbed in an activity, and to change your mindset, but to not be so much time that we are worried about wasting time, that we are worried about all of the things that we have to do instead of what we're doing. It's a great amount of time to get involved in something, change your mindset, get benefits from it, but to not feel like you have wasted time or that you've lost time. Now, if you want to walk for longer than 20 minutes, wonderful. Don't limit yourself to 20 minutes. Go for as long as you like, as long as feels good to you. But if you can go for at least 20 minutes, you will see maximum benefit from this. You will see a change in your mindset. You will see a change in perspective. You will be able to get absorbed into the experience and to have a change from what your experience was before to now that you are walking. So 20 minutes is a wonderful time to be absorbed in an activity. As a matter of fact, I recommend 20 minutes for all sorts of spiritual activities like meditation because it allows us enough time to have a mindset change. If you can't go for 20 minutes, that's okay. Just do a couple. Just take a few steps. Start from where you are, but work up to 20 minutes at least of walking as a spiritual exercise. So these are my tips for starting walking as a spiritual experience. Let's go for a walk. So when we walk, we want to be focusing our attention. We want to be breathing. We want to be taking in the sights and the sounds. We want to be saying thank you for this amazing earth, feeling our feet on the ground, feeling the air against our skin, giving thanks and praise. If your mind begins to wander, this is okay. Because of the bilateral movement of walking, the back and forth, walking is actually a wonderful way to solve your problems, to gain a new perspective, to think, to settle your brain, let the mind settle, relax. So walking is a wonderful way to problem solve. It's also a great way to get creative, have new thoughts, think new things, in general, just to gain a new perspective. Feel free to pause at times, have a look around, notice the small things, notice the lichen on the rocks, notice the water on the leaves. Notice any smells. Notice the feel of the air. Notice what is around you and what is inside you while you are walking. There is no race to be run. No race to be won. when you are walking to deepen your spirituality, when you are walking as a spiritual experience. It's all about focusing on the present moment. It's all about being engaged, being aware, being mindful, admiring these beautiful hemlocks, how lovely they are. We can make some tea from that. Hemlock tea, that is not the kind that will kill you, by the way. To just breathe and experience. This is walking as a spiritual experience. Of course, it's important to go it alone when you can focus and think and enjoy the experience. Allow your mind to wander. Allow your thoughts to wander. And if you want to be more meditative, then allow the breath to bring you back to the moment. Allow yourself to focus in on the sensations, to use what's around you as a way to focus and bring yourself back to the moment. In these ways, walking can become for you a ritualistic experience that deepens your spirituality, deepens your levels of awareness, meaning, and connection, allows you to gain new perspectives on your problems, your challenges, allows you to gain some new insights, to get creative. And so, like a pilgrimage or shamanic walking, labyrinth walking, your simple walks can become a way for you to deepen your spirituality and to access greater levels of experience, greater levels, deeper levels of living on this amazing earth. Again, I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, supporting your journey with healing experiences, coaching, and encouragement for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. Thank you for joining me on this walk. Thank you for your love and light in the world. In the notes section, this video is also an article that you can check out on my website, standingstoneshealing.com, and there is a link in the comments section where you can access that. Thank you, and best wishes for all of your walks. Best wishes for your journey.